What's up, Gunpla fans? This is Joe of Joe's Gunpla here with another video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Because I'm a fan of the Legend of Zelda series of games, I picked up this World of Nintendo figure at work. Work at Kmart for $9.99. Not a bad price. I know online there's a few places selling it for a little bit more than that, about 15 bucks. I don't know if it's worth that much. Let's take a look at everything and see what we've got. Now, this is the, if it'll focus, almost, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword version of Link. So, a little less detailed than the Twilight Princess version would be. A little bit more cartoony, but still, pretty realistic proportions as far as the actual figure goes. He comes in a simple bubble wrap, card type package. On the back, we have, some shots of the figure showing off some of the articulation. His head turns left to right, his arm goes up and down, he's got an ankle joint, the actual figure himself, and it comes with a mystery accessory included in a box. 13 points of articulation for a 4-inch figure isn't too bad, and an advertisement to collect them all. We've got Wario, Mario, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, and Bowser. I have not seen Wario, Donkey Kong, or Bowser yet. I think these two guys are actually in a bigger package, maybe even in a box. I don't know. I haven't seen them, so we'll see about that. If I decide to collect those. I don't know if I will. I might get Bowser just because I like the bad guys, but man, if they make a Ganon, I'm all about it. So let's take a look here. You've got Link himself with the Master Sword and a sheath, and then he's got his mystery accessory in a box there. Looks kind of like a treasure chest, but not quite. I wish they would have gone with a more like traditional, the wooden or the metal treasure chests that you see in games like Twilight Princess. I haven't played Skyward Sword, so I don't know what the treasure chests look like there. So maybe that's what that is supposed to be there. Now, the figure itself, the package, a lot of action figures these days have this taped flap here. I think that's meant so you can actually save the packaging for any collectors out there who do that. But the bottom one here is glued on, so I don't know how well I'll be able to pry that out of there. I'll probably end up ripping it off here anyway. So let me get some scissors. Very carefully run that along there. And yeah, that's pretty well glued in there, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the package. I'm not a huge collector, so I'm probably not going to save the packaging anyway. I'm sure someone out there is cringing. That's okay. We'll slide this out like this. And that is taped on. We don't need that. Okay. Alright. And he's got a couple of twist ties holding everything in here, so we'll undo those real quick. Okay. Pop out this sword thusly. Okay. That is really on there. Oh boy. It's not really like a twist tie. It's more like a plastic thing. I mean, it doesn't even have a wire in there. It's just clear plastic. Okay. And we got one more on the figure. Okay. See if he'll stand up there. Okay. And one more for the sheath. There we are. Set that aside. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up now. Now, I already know what this is because I've seen a few reviews online. But when he first was announced and pictures were shown, I was a little worried because he has his sword in his sheath, but he doesn't have a shield. And there it is. A Highland shield. A little dusty, or it has like a mold release or something on it. There we go. Now this is, of course, the version of the Highland shield for Skyward Sword. So if you're used to, say, Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess, it's going to be a little bit different. There's a few cosmetic changes here and there, but the same overall idea. Okay, so we'll go over the figure first, and I'm going to move the camera so I have a bit more room to work with here. There we go. Hopefully. All right. So, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with the sculpt of the head and hair and face. The eyes seem to be either very well painted or are like a decal of some kind. It's very nice. Pointed ears, you can even see his earrings there. I think overall the figure could do with a nice like oil wash or something like that to bring out some of the finer details. Kind of wish his chainmail would have been painted more like a silver. Let's see if this is focusing or not. Focus, focus. I'm using a new phone to record this video, so bear in mind there could be a few technical issues here and there. The chainmail is molded pretty nicely. I do wish they would have painted gray along that bottom line there. Probably go through and do a few touch-ups myself. Might even go ahead and paint that silver, depending on what kind of plastic this is. It feels more like a bendable, maybe like a PVC, similar to if you've built the perfect grade Wing Zero custom. He's got that torso piece that's kind of that soft plastic, almost like a rubber. So I don't know if I can paint that or not. And then he's got his boots. There we go. Alright, so we'll go over articulation. Now, this is the first time I've actually messed with this guy, so let's see if I can get everything. His hat has a seam here, but it doesn't look like it's actually movable. I was thinking it would be maybe a little bit, but I guess not. I don't know why they would put that there. His head appears to be on a ball joint. He rocks back and forth just a little bit, and he can turn his head all the way around. He can look up a little, look down a little bit, and look straight ahead. He can't really look up. And that appears to be it for the head. His arms can go out about that far, and they're on a sort of like a ball joint in here, along with a swivel, like 360. Down here, he's got a swivel here and here below the elbow, and then the elbow itself goes up and down. So he's only got one real bending joint, so he can only bring his arm up that far, which isn't too bad. And then, you know, you can get a good range of motion side to side. As a matter of fact, you can go all the way around. And his wrist will also go all the way around like this. I find that this twisting motion here is hindered when he's got his elbow bent all the way, because it kind of is shaped to go together right there. So then his wrist here goes in and out, and also goes 360. His waist, he's got a little bit of movement in the torso. You can twist around here, a little bit back and forth. Not much side to side. He does not move at the waist, so that is the waist movement, I suppose. Now his legs appear to be on the same kind of joint as the shoulders, but because of this skirt, you know, he can't really do the splits, but he can get a pretty good wide stance. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. He's got one joint in the knee, get about a 90. Let's see, I guess you can go forward and back about that much. So, I mean, that's a decent, I don't know if you can really call that a good running pose or not, but there you have it. Let's see, also moves at the top of the boot, swivel down here at the foot, and it rocks back and forth. So you can get a pretty decent flat-footed stance with that wide stance there. So overall, not too shabby for a little 4-inch figure. Certainly better than the old 1990s, 1980s G.I. Joes that are about the same height. Of course, I think those guys are a little bit shorter. But yeah, there you have it. So, not too bad there. He doesn't really stand up all that well, to be honest. I mean, he can get his feet pretty flat, but he's just not, I guess, balanced, really. I mean, also his feet are kind of tiny for how bulky his pants are. So, there's that. Okay, so then we have the scabbard, which looks pretty nice. I do like the detail. It's molded pretty crisply. Again, the paint apps could have used a little bit of work. I'm sure if this was a Japanese toy, they would have gone through and detailed this up like crazy, because they like to do that for their figures. Of course, then that would have bumped the price up to probably maybe $20 or more. So, because this is the Skyward Sword figure, he is right-handed, as opposed to the traditional Link, which is left-handed. But, you know, for those Wii games, including the Twilight Princess version for the Wii, they switched it because most players would have been right-handed, and they didn't want people to have to swing around their left hand and possibly lose that Wiimote into the TV. And that just plugs in right there with a simple peg. Little hole in the back, peg on the sheath, scabbard, and that goes in just like that. Okay. Now, the sword, the Master Sword, is, first of all, you're probably going to get one that's just a little bent, kind of like those old MSIA figures. You know, those weapons always came in a little warped. It is a pretty bendable plastic. A little bit of hot water, you could straighten that out for sure. Now, the sword itself, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. The blade is painted white, while the actual, the edge of the blade is painted white, while the rest of the blade is light blue. You can probably see, maybe not on the camera, but the Triforce, and I guess that's the Triforce, and maybe the Hyrule emblem, I don't know, is molded into the blade right there, just above the hilt. And then the handle is also molded pretty accurately. So I'm pretty pleased with the sword itself. As far as the molding goes, again, depending on what kind of plastic this is, I'll see if some enamel paint takes to it. I might detail that up a little bit. And he can hold it in his right hand, if I can get it in there. There we go. And he can run around like an idiot, chopping grass and whatnot. There you are. And also, it fits, of course, in the scabbard. Very cool. And the mystery accessory, the Highland Shield. Also molded pretty crisply. Paint apps could use a little bit of work. If you're real picky like me, it does have a little nub mark there from the molding process. On the back, almost no detail whatsoever. Looks like they tried to paint this section here, and when they glued it in, the paint smeared a bit. And then he's got a handle here, and this is actually removable, I think, on the top. And that's so you can actually slide it through the hand if you want, and then just plug that right in. So I'm wondering, aside from obviously, you know, going on the hand, let's see if I can get this through. I wonder if you're actually supposed to pop the hand off. Yep, pop the hand off like that. I think that'll be a lot easier than trying to force the hand through that hole there. Okay. And pop the hand back on. See if I can get this done on camera. It's iffy. It's iffy. I think we got it though. There we are. So there you go. And you can hold it just like that. Now, one question I do have is there a way to mount the shield on his back, like attached to this scabbard or something? And I believe the Figma figure of Link has that capability, but I don't know about this guy. Let's see here. Stand up. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take this. Let's see if that fits in there like that. Doesn't look like it. That's a little disappointing. I mean, it doesn't really look like this opening here is quite wide enough to fit this thing all the way through. Maybe. No, that's kind of pushing it right there. That molded detail there is probably not going to go through. Okay, I don't want to force it and break it. So, that's a little disappointing. But for a $10 figure, I'm not really going to complain all that much. So, there you have it. I mean, if you can find this guy for $10, I say definitely pick him up. If you're a fan of the Legend of Zelda series and you don't want to fork over, you know, 50, 60 bucks for the Figma. Although, I will say that Figma figure looks fantastic. I have seen a lot of reviews of him, and quite frankly, if I had the spare money, I'd probably buy him. But I have other things that I'd rather spend my money on, like more Gundam kits that I'm not building, or college textbooks, or something useful. And we'll put that in his hand. All in all, I'm pretty pleased. I'm happy to finally have a little figure of Link. For the longest time, I was wondering why they never made action figures for the Legend of Zelda series. I mean, as a kid, I know for sure, man, I would have bought every single one of them. I bought the Mortal Kombat figures growing up, and Beast Wars and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes, you name it. I was buying the figures. And if they would have made a figure of Link and Ganon, would have been all over it. So anyway, that's my little mini review and unboxing and whatnot of the World of Nintendo 4-inch Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Link figure. Like I said, if you can find him for $10, pick him up. He's definitely worth it. I wouldn't pay much more than that. Honestly, I wouldn't even pay shipping for this guy. He's very small, very tiny. Let me see if I have anything to compare him with. That's a chapstick. So yeah, he's pretty tiny. He's pretty small. So there you have it. And until next time, guys, happy building, collecting, or whatever else you do. Take care.